Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Alright, so it's probably the third time in the last 30 days at least that I'm opening a video praising the investigative journalistic by none other than Julie Kelly. You know, in the past, for a lot of this stuff, we used to lean on Catherine Herridge, who at the time was at CBS and she was covering all the insider scoop and document drops relating to the Hunter Biden-Joe Biden corruption scandal, and of course anything related to the Trump indictments. But since she got fired and her office got raided, I wonder why that may be. It might have been a happy accident, because Julie Kelly, well, she just happens to be the best. She's releasing bombshell after bombshell with incredible analysis as you go through. I mean, we got so much stuff to get into relating to the Trump Mar-a-Lago case, possible prosecutorial misconduct, as well as now a clearly painted picture suggesting that the Biden team was deeply involved in the prosecution of Joe Biden's political opponent in this election, Donald Trump. This whole story is getting wild, I mean, completely out of control. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright, so first off, let's start off with this Federalist article. And keep in mind that the Federalist here is piggybacking off of Julie Kelly's work, so I'm just gonna flash Julie Kelly's Twitter handle, or her Twitter profile on the screen right now. This is the person behind all of the work. Give her a subscription, please. But anyways, here's the summation from the Federalist. They write, federal agency had pallets of documents sent to Mar-a-Lago 1 year before DOJ raid. A federal agency worked with the Trump transition team to send 2 pallets of document boxes relating to former President Donald Trump's presidency to his Mar-a-Lago home. 1 year before special counsel Jack Smith then raided the residence to look for classified documents. Smith indicted Trump in June of 2023 for allegedly mishandling classified documents 1 year after armed federal agents raided Mar-a-Lago in search of such documents. The General Services Administration, the GSA, was in talks with Trump's team both during and after his term regarding pallets of items from the president's tenure, emails show. The GSA then informed Trump's transition team that there were 6 pallets that needed to be transferred from Virginia to Florida. Of the 6 pallets, 2 were designated to be sent to Mar-a-Lago and 4 to a West Palm Beach storage unit, according to emails. The 2 pallets to be delivered to Mar-a-Lago from an Arlington, Virginia facility contained document boxes, according to an email previewing the shipping charges. I understand that we are ready to ship, read an email sent on August 26, 2021 by Kathy Geisler, the director of the Office of Portfolio Management and Real Estate's Program Execution Division that included Trump aide Bo Harrison as a recipient. I know that originally we had 3 pallets going to a storage unit, that is now 4 pallets going to the storage units, and 2 pallets will go to Mar-a-Lago. A July 2021 letter from Harrison stated the items to be shipped from Arlington, Virginia to Palm Beach, Florida were required to wind down the office of the former president or are rare items that are property of the federal government. It is unclear how long the pallets sat in the Virginia facility or who had access to them. An FBI agent said during a witness interview that the GSA was in possession of 6 pallets, that the office contacted the office of 45 to inform him that, they have to go. According to a screenshot of a transcript posted by independent journalist Julie Kelly, someone has to pick them up or they have to be shipped, or something to that effect. The article then continues, the National Archives and Records Administration, NARA, was also involved in the transition, but by June of 2021, NARA archivist David Ferrero had become frustrated by the pace of, quote, good faith efforts by the Trump's team to address NARA's concerns, a filing screenshot posted by Kelly shows. The Federalist asked NARA whether the pallets shipped by GSA included the documents that were later confiscated by Smith's team during their raid of Mar-a-Lago, and NARA's media staff responded that the agency had no awareness about the contents of the materials on the pallets and had no involvement in the MOVE project that is referenced in the GSA emails. And so essentially what's happening here is that a bunch of Trump's presidential documents were kept in the exact same type of boxes, banker boxes, in Virginia in the possession of GSA. Then 4 boxes were sent to a storage facility and 2 boxes were sent to Mar-a-Lago. And then a little while later, what's suspected here, in the midst of the 2022 general election, Donald Trump's home was raided by Merrick Garland and Jack Smith to possibly retrieve those exact boxes. Obviously, what's being suggested is that the evidence was planted on Donald Trump. They sent it to him directly and then raided him for being in possession, supposedly illegally, of the documents they sent him and they were aware that he was in possession of. It's completely wild stuff. And then, of course, thanks to another unredacted document, we learned that Jack Smith's team, then based purely on assumption that Donald Trump had possibly been destroying these documents, that was uncovered in a redacted document recently. Based on what exactly? Well, we don't know. They just said so, and therefore, they bumped up the charges to the Espionage Act and destruction of property, or rather destruction of classified materials. This whole thing feels like an orchestrated hit job. New unsealed email from Nara lawyer includes a draft letter to A.G. Garland and archivist David Ferrero. This is dated back in September of 2021. I write pursuant to my authority as archivist of the United States to seek your assistance for the recovery of presidential records that may have been unlawfully removed from the U.S. government custody or possibly destroyed in violation of the Presidential Records Act. Presidential records that may have been, quote, unlawfully removed from U.S. government custody. What do you mean unlawfully removed? You mean sent to GSA in Virginia, who then told the Trump team to come pick up the documents because, quote, they just have to go? Someone has to pick them up? That is literally a direct quote. This whole thing stinks to the freaking high heavens. They planted evidence on the former president. They met behind the scenes a bunch of partisan actors. I'll actually get to that in a separate video, probably, that I'll record after this. But they orchestrated the whole thing behind the scenes, set him up, stitched him up, and now all the dirt is rising to the surface. Or rather, you can argue, it's all been released almost totally unredacted by Judge Aileen Cannon, while Julie Kelly shovels it up and sends it to the masses. We clearly see what's going on. There are no coincidences in the world of politics. This didn't happen accidentally. They sent the documents there, then they raided him. Oh, well, I guess it's just circumstantial. Whoops, a little whoopsie from Jack Smith. Yeah, right, that's no coincidence. And you know what else isn't a coincidence? The timing of it all. The fact that Jack Smith waited over a year, knowing full well that Donald Trump was in compliance related to these boxes and documents, knowing full well that they were in possession of those documents. But what they decided to do, if it was such a pressing matter, if it was such a horrible crime committed by the former president, if he had to be held accountable for his actions, hashtag no one is above the law, if that was truly the case, well, they probably would have indicted him instantly, rather than waiting over 12 months to concoct the whole thing and then, of course, saying action, pressing the record button as they make a giant theater spectacle in the middle of a midterm election, right before people were headed to the ballot boxes. And right after the Roe v. Wade SCOTUS decision draft leak, initially it was pretty obvious what was going on. Now I'd argue it's blatantly obvious. This is what they do. It's entrapment. It's a follow-up of the 2016, or rather 2017 backup plan, Hillary Clinton and the 7th floor at the FBI's plan to frame Donald Trump as a Russian agent, as a traitor to his nation. It never ends. It's essentially the same people or similar people doing the exact same thing. And really the question that I'm asking here is, why do we have to rely on Julie Kelly to get all these scandalous drops and do all of this investigative work? Where is the Republican House? They should be all over this. What a massive bombshell. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.